G'day, freedom lovers. How are all you blokes and Sheilas doing out there today? Sorry, I'm an hour late. I tell you what, it has been one hell of a day. Kevin Bloody Wilson would certainly have see you in the NT moments to share with you about the kind of day I've had. I contemplated singing you a song, but I thought better of it. It's probably not all that appropriate. We are in election mode, so we're going to try and be at least somewhat civil today. G'day, Michael. How are you, mate? So, yeah, it's been very impromptu. Things haven't worked out exactly as we planned. I did have another guest lined up who has unfortunately suddenly come ill, but it's okay. We've got some very important information, election related, coming to you. It was going to be happening tomorrow, but we're going to do it tonight. So thankfully, Alan and Christian were able to come to my rescue. So without further ado, let's say good day to Alan and Christian. How are you guys?
Hey, mate, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how you going?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. G'day, Vapu. Hello, Jan. Everybody's coming to the party now. So, pre-polling election has begun here in Townsville, as I'm sure it has in most electorates around the country. At least I know it's definitely happening here in Queensland. I don't know, is it all councils like nationwide? I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it.
I'm not sure either, mate, but it's certainly all happening in Townsville.
Yeah, I know it's definitely happening in Cairns. I've seen the signs today as I was driving around, getting absolutely hammered by the rain. I tell you what, every time I got out of that truck, it seems like I had my own personal storm cloud open up over the top of me.
Yeah, it's shitty weather.
Oh yeah, certainly not fun. Those rivers are flowing something fierce out that way. So we had a bit of a yarn, and you guys have been kind enough to jump on the show here and come to my rescue with some very interesting stories about what's happening at the pre-polling booths. So I know we're waiting on some videos. How successful were you at sending that through, Christian?
I sent it through to your messenger. The audio is just a bit of a problem. I can't send that through to you at the moment. Maybe I can play it online. Maybe you can hear it that way. I don't know.
Okay, I've got these videos here, so I'm going to start downloading those. So perhaps we'll start with Alan. You've had an interesting run-in with the RSPCA, as well as I believe is it Anne-Marie Greeny who was originally sort of making life a bit hard for where you were placing your tent. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Team Jenny Hill aren't playing fair or reasonable or any of those acronyms. It's first in best.
Whoa.
Positions and
Sorry,
stuff.
I hit the wrong button there. I meant to bring that one down because we're going to bring that article up in a minute. So, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So, first in best dress. So, I normally get the tent there at about 4:30 in the morning and set it up. Takes about an hour. Then you'll, answer phone calls or whatever. At 8 o'clock, go and get a coffee and then be back by 8:30. Talk to your helpers and then hit it at 9 o'clock,
Yeah. So, obviously, 4:30 is a pretty early start. You sort of the first in, best dressed, the early bird catching the worm. Is that what's cracking on there?
Yeah. So, first in, best dressed. So, you get the best position. So, you could set your signage up and stuff. And I'm working with the independents on the Merrill front. I'm working with Troy Thompson. So, I set all his gear up, that's fairly prominent because that's an important position that needs to be taken off Team Jenny Hill. And I help the other independents that are there. I'm not allowed to hand out their how to votes, but I can hand out their flyers. So that's a line in the sand there. And Team Change with Paul Jacob and Jake have got on board with regard to the Amaru issue and are supporting me with that. So I said, mate, if you're willing to support me with that, I'm willing to help you in the morning and set up. So you don't have 24 people in the morning. There's only one idiot,
So the team change people, although are heavily Labor and union based. They're playing fair. It's just the team Jenny Hill people that are giving you grief.
Yeah. Well, Team Change if I could say, middle of the road Labor or traditional Labor, as I like to call them, with
Okay.
good values. Those values that were there 20, 30 years ago. They're certainly not the far right that Jenny Hill is, and they've got
Far
a
left, you mean?
good. They've got a good sense of morality and all that sort of stuff. So I'm happy to work with them.
Mm-hmm. No worries. Oh, it's good to hear that they're not the standard far left that we've come to expect from Labor and union kind of people.
Yeah, no. I think they're of good value, and two of the seats are, I think, uh, Division 1 and Division 2 are just either Team Jenny Hill or Team Change. So, I'd like to see Team Change over Jenny Hill.
Yeah.
Free plug for Paul there.
I just checked your phone there, Mark. I sent them audio ones through to your phone.
Okay, no worries. All right, I will do some magic work in the background here. So, Alan, I understand the position that you've been set up in the last few days is exactly where Anne Marie Greeny originally started setting up.
No, that's not entirely correct. So on the Monday when we started, I was setting up where I was from Tuesday to today, and the shop manager at the RSPCA said, "Oh, you can't set up in my shop," and I sort of took that on face value and moved straight away. And then at 8:30, when the Greens actually woke up, they put their tent exactly there. And they were there the whole day on Monday, and no one made a complaint. So 4:30 on Tuesday, I thought, righto, that'll do me. I'll take that position.
Right.
And from then on, it's been fun and games.
So it was okay for Anne Marie Greeny to put her stuff there. It just wasn't okay for you to put your stuff there.
Yeah,
Do you feel that
it was actually the Greens party, not Anne Marie, not Team Jenny Hill. Yeah, it was actually the Greens.
Have the Greens party got a candidate in?
Yeah, one candidate
running. Have they?
Yeah.
Right.
In Division 9, yeah.
There you go. I wasn't aware of the Greens camp doing that sort of
so
thing.
They were there and it was okay, but suddenly when I was there on Tuesday, I got the helper, Jeff, got a message from Tracy from the ECQ that a complaint had been lodged and I needed to deal with it. So in my usual fashion, I got there at 8 o'clock and then rang Tracy and said, I understand there's been a complaint. She said, yeah. I said, well, can you put it in writing? And then the whole story changed, and it was just a suggestion that I moved, not any sort of complaint that was in front of her. I said, well, thank you. I'll take your suggestion on board, and I left my tent there. So that was the Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday, I had the manager of the RSPCA store come out, or the floor manager, or whatever she likes to call herself, and she said, "Jeff, again, there's a complaint. Alan needs to address it." I said, "Yeah." So he rang me and said, "Can you come back?" So I come back at 8:30 with coffees, and she said, "Listen, I've just cancelled the security team that were here, that were on their way here. I understand that you know about fire doors and all that sort of stuff, so I'll expect you to move your tent over there a couple of meters." I said, "I'm terribly sorry. No one's raised this issue with me, but if you've got a problem, certainly put it in writing, and I'll do my best to resolve it. I've got other stakeholders here like Troy and Paul that I'd like to consult, if I have to move the tent. And if you put it in writing, I'll certainly redress all the issues." So that lady walked away in a huff. And then on the Wednesday, after I'd left, a man claiming to be the Queensland CEO for RSPCA said to one of the organisers there, if you don't move the tent, we're going to call the police. I said, oh, righto. They said, yeah, righto. They moved the tent, then rang me, and I basically informed them that a CEO or any sort of professional person would produce their ID and would conduct themselves in a professional manner. This obviously wasn't a professional manner this bloke conducted himself in, or he produced any ID. Later that day, we saw him with the store manager of the RSPCA, and he was pointed out to me, and I basically said to him, so you're the CEO of the RSPCA Queensland, are you? And he just laughed, and the store manager laughed, and I basically Googled this bloke, and it was a different bloke, so it was just rubbish, you know.
Yeah. So they come through lying, just anything to move you on. So
Yeah.
would you? It would seem. I mean, RSPCA, Greenies. Do you think there's just its own? They've reserved that spot just for their specific Greenie candidate, and no one else is welcome. Is that kind of what you're feeling?
Well, I overheard Jenny Hill saying that we're really tight with the RSPCA. You know, I mean, you know, when Paul Jacob was a councillor, they booted the RSPCA out. If you cast your memory back, so yeah, it's a love-hate relationship, I think. But yeah, it was definitely a joke. And today, you know, some lady said, you know, I represent the owner. I said, oh, that's fine. I said, how can I help you? And she said, oh, well, listen, you've got to move your tent. I said, well, whatever the issue is, can you please put it in writing? And she said, no, I'm not. I said, well, will you identify yourself? She said, no, I won't. And I thought, well, that's strange, because I thought Brad Webb owned the complex. So I said to her straight away, I said, I thought Brad Webb owned this, not St. Vincent de Paul. And straight away she said, I've never heard of Brad Webb. I said, are you from Townsville? She said, yeah. And I thought, you know, straight away, that's just wrong, because everyone knows Brad Webb. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's larger than life. And, yeah, so I just thought this was rubbish. And she basically called the police, and two police officers came, and they told me what's going on, and I told them what's going on, and I said, you know, this could be Bin Laden's sister for all I know. So anyway, apparently she identified herself to the police, and the police quickly showed some sort of planning or ownership title of the property, and they said, Alan, you either leave or we'll have to arrest you. And I thought to myself, well, you know, if you give me half an hour, I'll leave and keep out of trouble, sort of thing, you know. So yeah, I had to leave. And then I said, you know, well, how long do I have to leave for? She said, well, because you didn't move the tent straight away when I asked. This is when she did. This is while she wouldn't identify herself. I want you to leave for the rest of the day, but you can come back on Monday. So I guess my question to the viewers out there, is it illegal to be on common property standing on the footpath, you know?
Well, I would have thought that footpath was, you know, sort of public property, you know, under council jurisdiction.
It's part of the precinct there, but, you know, I'm just an average Joe there. There was another 12 people in the tent. None of them got into any sort of trouble. I just had to leave.
Specifically targeted.
Yeah. So
targeted you and the rest of the independent campaign people.
Yeah. So I had to leave for the day, but I can be back there on Monday. So yeah.
Well, let's have a look at this article.
Yep.
Because your stories made it to the Townsville Bulletin, you know, the one and only newspaper in town, which Jenny Hill just happens to be on the board of. So sorry, I've got too many things up at the moment. All right, so police used peacekeepers at North Queensland polling booth. So police were deployed as peacekeepers on Friday as tensions rose between a local political candidate and a store at a Townsville polling booth site. It is understood the political disturbance, I love the way they put quotation marks around that, political disturbance, occurred at about 8:30 a.m. on Woodman Court at the lake, on private property owned by the RSPCA charity store. Now, is this the exact location that it happened?
Yeah, so on the right hand side there, on the right hand side, yep, that's the ECQ doors, and to the side of the tent there is about 8 meters, and from the cat there to the front of the store is about front of the tent is about 4 meters. So I don't know what I was supposed to be blocking. I mean, what
seems like there's plenty of space to me.
Yeah, and you can see all the core flutes I put up and all that sort of stuff. There's Michael Edmonds there from Division 9. You've got Paul Jacob from Division 1. High crime, high rates, little service. We need change. Maybe that annoyed her a lot. You've got Kristian Price on the left-hand side there from Division 4. All the independents I look after. I'm not afraid to say that there's a real big issue in this town and something's got to give.
So it is understood, and a Queensland Police Service spokeswoman said the executive in charge of the charity property asked independent candidate Alan Sheret to move his booth because it was blocking foot traffic. Yeah, I'm failing to see how it was. And I mean, were the police able to demonstrate how you were blocking foot traffic?
No. Well, there was, I guess, 2 complaints there, Mark. One that I was blocking foot traffic, and as a result, the takings of the store were down. So, with the ECQ traffic there, it had probably increased 2,000 or 3,000 times. I failed to see how they're making a loss, but this is just the just a bit of a furphy,
Yeah. Almost be worth dragging them in the court to say, can you actually demonstrate losses, or is this election interference? No charges were made, and police did not issue any formal move on directions. Well, isn't that interesting? So there was no formal directions, no charges, just a big hoo-ha. Police did attend more to keep the peace more than actual police involvement, the spokeswoman said. But didn't they threaten arrest?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, they did. And the other issue I had is Team Change didn't want to rock the boat too much. And, I'm a bit of a advocate for freedom. I was dead set against the jab and all that sort of stuff. And I believe, if a person says there's a complaint, they should be able to put it in writing, or at least identify themselves. This age of trust, it's all finished with the COVID scam. And I thought that I was reasonable in my process in getting it in writing, so I could address it properly. Not just this Hitler style commands. You must obey. Well, I've got rights, so yeah. I also
very interesting.
I just text you the inside view of that building and the tent there, so you can see the. It's a good 4 meters, Mark. So, if you've got a set of hips wider than 4 meters, you might have problems getting through there.
Yeah, if your hips are that wide, I reckon you're going to have a lot of trouble getting through just about anything.
Lord have mercy.
Lord.
I'll send this to there, and then I will open it here, and then we'll save it somewhere else, and we'll get it down eventually. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
very impromptu show, boys and girls.
So I think the big thing that prompted today is Jenny Hill was at Woodman's Court there, and she was handing out flyers, and a gentleman refused to take a flyer, you know. And I thought, well, this is my time to shine. And I said to the bloke, I said, mate, are you sick of the high crime and the high rates in this town? If you are, here's a candidate for mayor, Troy Thompson. He wants to look into it and try and resolve it, you know. And Anyway, Jenny went, that's not right. I said, what's not right, Jenny? She said, I think the rates are quite reasonable. I said,
I wholeheartedly disagree with that. That is garbage.
I disagree too. And at that moment, that the police helicopter flew over, and then I said to Jenny, I said, that probably just cost us $5,000 for that helicopter to roll over. She goes, we've got crime under control, Alan. I said, Jenny, I said, everyone's getting robbed. And then I burst into tears and said, it's out of control, Jenny. You need to do something. And really embarrassed. It's something shocking in front of 30 people. So I think, you know, maybe that's what prompted today, you know.
Yeah, they decided they need to crack down and push a little harder, because it's a typical kind of Gestapo tactics you expect from people heavily associated with Labor and left-leaning sort of parties, you know.
But you know, a bit of argy-bargy's going on and stuff. But you know, you've got to expect it from a team with little or no principles, you know.
Oh, for sure. And you know, at least the Bulletin's done some reasonable reporting here. No one will put an issue in writing, so I think it's just scare tactics and a bit of politics. The marquee was not pitched within the electoral booth's marking, which campaigners are not permitted to cross. You know,
so I wasn't breaking any rules or anything like that, but you know, obviously when I asked them to put it in writing, they got their nose out of joint, and when I asked them for ID, oh, how dare you? Who do you think you are? Sort of thing, you know. So I went, well, stuff that. Yeah, so that's that one.
That's that picture you sent us. Yeah.
So
you can see there's plenty of space.
Yeah, there's at least 4 meters, mate. Yeah, there's at least 4 meters, you know.
Which and were those the guidelines given to you? Yeah.
No. I just thought, you know, coming from a commercial background, that you know at least 4 meters was fair and reasonable. You know, so you could have 2 people going into the ECQ and 2 people leaving, and they wouldn't bump into one another. You know.
Yeah. Well, if you line that up with this brickwork here. I mean, that's enough. You can clearly see that doorway's easy enough for 2 people to walk straight through there.
Yeah.
You know, you could probably easily get another person walking through. You could have 3 people, you know, three lines quite comfortably there, possibly even 4.
Yeah. So where that tent was is exactly where the Greens tent was, and there wasn't an issue with it on Monday.
Yeah, but there's an issue with it now because it's not their greenie friends.
Yeah. And I understand
fascinating.
Jenny's quite upset with Paul and stuff, and you'll see all Paul's stuff. Team change there on the right hand side. Another free plug for Paul. She was really upset because that was a prime position, and the area is not fit for purpose. And you'll have a look if you go back to that other one, mate. There is no ramp, and at that stage there, that was all. See how you've got the little bollards with the disabled symbols on them? Yeah, that's it. There's no ramp there. They've got to go round the other side. And if you go back to the side view one again, they've pushed all those car parks there where those bollards are across the other side.
Righto.
So the disabled have to walk further. So
the disabled can't even park there.
No, not anymore. No, they moved them over.
So they put this lovely little handicap thing saying this is a handicap parking, and then made it so they can't park there. Like,
So they moved those bollards
mind-blowing.
across the other side. So they've got to actually go even further. So it's just hopeless, mate.
Council planning at its finest.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're all about disabled, but you know, we've got to help them up that curbing sometimes, and it's pretty scary, because some of them have the two-legged walkers and all that sort of stuff, and you think, bloody hell.
Madness.
Yeah.
So, Christian, I understand you've also had some interesting occurrences. I've got some videos.
Mate,
queued
video,
up here.
audio, mate. I've had a busy morning. I normally get there early in the morning and set up early.
Yeah.
And twice now. The first time she got up me and then she left me alone. That was the other day.
Who's she? Sorry.
Viewers are aware. That is Margie Ryder. Wow, woman. If you look at her videos.
Oh, right. Yeah. Was she the one that kind of looked like she'd had a couple and she was trying
to...
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't spoken to any of you since the last time I wanted to be elected, but now I'm calling on you again.
That's her.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
wow.
Her. So anyway,
you have to. Do you think that kind of campaign actually works on people? Like, I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you since last time I wanted something, but I want something again. Can you listen to me?
Yeah, they're not voting for her, mate. They're just walking past her.
But not only that, I'm half cut when I'm talking to you this time.
Yeah.
And mate, you got to look up her video. She does a tortilla one where they're all drunk and they're slapping each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But I got a quick funny story there because I get up at 4:30 in the morning and get to pre-poll. I got to keep myself going stir crazy. So on Wednesday, I had to drop some how to votes to Christian. And I said to him, that movie, Jerry Maguire, where he goes, show me the money. I said, I'm gonna say to Margie, I love you, Margie, on the top of my voice. He goes, mate, you're not going to do that. I said, mate, I've got to do it. He goes, no, don't do it, please. So anyway, as I'm out the front there of Darrengow Drive there, just about to give Christian the flyers, I rang up Troy Thompson and said, Troy, I'm going to do it, mate. He goes, please don't do it, Alan. Please don't do it. I said, mate, I've got to do it. Are you listening? He goes, yeah, I'm listening. And on the top of my voice, I yell out, I love you, Margie. And you hear this on the way back a second later, I love you too. Oh, God. I just cracked up laughing. It was just stupidity at 6 a.m., mate. So, yeah.
Okay, now at least she played along.
Yeah. Oh, she's good value like that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's like as a counsellor, but as a person, I don't think she's too bad,
Back to me now.
Christian. Yeah. Did you? Yeah, he just cut you off. It's a bit rude, eh?
Yeah, sorry.
That's the way he is.
Just as well, you guys are good friends, eh?
Yeah.
Did you say you sent me some audio to my phone? Yeah.
Yeah, I sent it through Messenger. I think it was through Messenger. Just check your Messenger. But while you're checking, I'll just tell you what happened this morning. I got there early and I put up all my call flutes because they've been putting their tents in this area all the time, and they're sitting there watching us all the time. So I asked if we could put our call flutes in their area. The guy said, as long as you put them there before anyone else gets there, that's fine. So I went out there this morning. I put my call flutes down where they normally put their tents to keep them away from us. She rocked up in the morning. She said, can you move your call flutes? I said, no, I'm not moving my call flutes. And that's when all hell broke loose. I was called an F&C cockhead. She just went right off her tongue at me. And, mate, I put my phone in my pocket, but it was on record. So she didn't know I was actually recording everything she was saying. I've sent you the videos. And, mate, she lost it with me. And I was being polite with her. And I said, look, what have I done? I said, all I've done was put my call flutes down. What's the problem? You know this is where we put our effing tent, you dickhead, you cockhead. And I said, well, I've done nothing wrong. I'm following the regulations. And she said, no, you're just an arsehole. Kept going with all the names. So anyway, I walked away, went and sat down. Then I heard Division 7 guy, I can't think of his name.
Kirk Rubin,
or whatever. He rang up Mark Milicello. Mark, can you get here quick with more call flutes? So Mark come flying over with more call flutes, put them up all in front of our call flutes. I thought, okay, just being like that. So when they drove away, I went and got my call flutes and I put them all back in front of all theirs. I've actually got pictures of the day before, yesterday, where I've actually set up all my call flutes in good distances so they could put their call flutes there. They come along, put their tent over Troy's call flute. and put Jenny Hill's corflute in front of his. So I could not walk into their tent and move the corflute. And every one of our corflutes, they put all their pictures in front of, so no one could see any of our guys running.
How
like
pathetic.
100, like when he says in front, he means 100 mil in front.
Yeah,
not 6 feet, 100 mil.
Yeah.
They're not playing fair. Like we've been playing fair all this week, and they've just been dirty. Anyway, throughout the day, I got a message saying, "Be careful, this guy. He's one of the Labor guys. He's a heavy hitter. He's lurking around." I said, "Oh, rightio." Anyway, I was standing there spruiking my stuff out today, and someone calls me and said, "Look behind you." He was actually behind the change tent, recording her what she was saying. I said, "Oh, righto." So then he moved up to where we were beside me. So I sat down. I had my phone towards him, recording him. So he starts waving at me like this, and I said, he come over, mate. He goes, "I can do what I like," or something like this. So I said, "Mate, whatever, do whatever." I kept staying there, and after about 5 minutes of him there, I just had enough of him. So I stood up. I said, "This is what Labor's doing to us. We can't even do our job. They're standing here recording us, and and we can't say what we need to say." A guy on the line, big boy, looked over and said, "Mate," to the guy, "you want to move along, but in different words. Leave him alone and move away." The guy said, "I can stand what I want." He goes, "Mate, you're a bully, move away." So he didn't move away. So he went inside, did his vote. He come back outside and stood right to him. He just reached over to him and said, "Mate, F off right now." So this guy was on our side. He goes, "I hate bullies. Nice. I can see what he's doing to you." And he stood there for 15 minutes while this guy would not move. And then this guy eventually walked away. And then he turned around and talked to me for a bit. Then he was a really nice bloke. And he's going to be doing a documentary on the Indigenous kids in the crime here. So he was telling me what was going on. I said, "Sweet." So anyway, throughout the day, quiet. Then guess who shows up? Jenny Hill. Walks over, stands in between my tent and the other tent. So, I mean, she was practically touching my sign by this far. Yeah. I said, "Jenny, you need to move away, please. You're in our area. I can stand where I like." Then she started trying to bait me, and I was baiting back, but then I thought, "Nah, I'm not gonna play a game." So I started yelling out, "Independent for the Upper Ross." I said, "Remember the 2019 floods, high rates, high crime, under one mayor." And she just looked at me thinking, "What the hell are you doing?" Like this. I said it all the time she was there. She had a handful of paperwork. I think she handed out one while she stood beside me. So I just kept yelling it out. But what she was doing, she was blocking the people that was coming towards us. She was intimidating people because they'd say, "Oh, there's Jenny Hill. We'll just keep walking." And I got really angry with it. And my guys who were with me, who are my volunteers, were taking photos and recording her what she was doing. We got told to report her to the FAD in Brisbane, which I have done. So I've just got to wait now to see what happens.
What's FAD?
And so
Christian, what's FAD?
I don't know. Sorry. Anyway,
so I'm having trouble downloading those audios. Maybe can you text them to my phone and I'll see if I can do it that way.
Yeah.
I just Facebook's just weird the way it lets you. I can download a video, but I can't download audio. I don't know.
Give me 2
but
seconds.
let's have a look at some of these videos while
Well, in one of the videos, she says, "I'm talking to Les Walker."
So that's your photo that you sent us.
Yep.
Let's have a look. Okay, so here's the first video.
Margie Wright has just asked me to move our sign for Troy again. As you can see, she's put a table in front of our staff again. And there she goes, she's still yelling out. This, as you can see, table in front of our signs again. Thank you.
I had to stop it because you...
Say again, sorry?
I said I had to stop it. I had to stop the video because she was coming up and I was trying to turn my phone around, but I turned it off.
Okay. Technical issues. All right, so here's the next.
Yeah, and then we can stand there.
Did anything happen in this video? Or
No,
looks
not
like-
that. If you just keep playing them, I'll tell you which one it is. There were so many videos.
Yeah, and the rule is you can come in and just put where people put their tents. He asked ECG yesterday, or ECQ. Or just pick up.
was that video?
No, not that one.
Not that one.
It'd be a dark one. It'd be like early in the morning.
This one's only 8 seconds.
No,
As
it
you
will go
can
for like
see,
a minute.
Margie Ryder.
oh.
As you can see, Margie Ryder has now left the area. She's moved down the front now. And if she's touched any of our signs, I have a video of them and pictures of where all our signs are. If she touches any of them or puts her stuff over it, we'll be making a formal complaint today. Thank you.
So did you have to make a formal complaint?
I will be making a formal complaint. I've got the stuff here to send off to make the complaint of what you said to me.
All right, so the next one is 242.
I guess she's coming back. Bye-bye, Margie. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mark, you got any more of your signs, mate? How many have you got? When you bring over another, whatever house, many you can bring it.
Oh, is that intimidation? He's asking Mark Melicello to bring over more signs because now they feel intimidated. All we done was put our signs up like they do every day.
All right.
He's going to try and play it on his phone if the computer can pick it up, Mark.
We'll see how we go. Do you want me to play the next couple of videos while you?
No,
set
you
it
probably
up, or-
won't hear much of it. It'll only be the one where she starts calling me a cockhead. She's pretending to talk to Les Walker. And she walks over to me and says, I got Les on the phone, which actually you can see her text messages, but she wasn't talking to anyone. And she said, "Oh, he told me to call you Les because I called him a fuckhead and a cockhead, you know, and he called me a dwarf." Then she hung up and walked away. No, I just laughed. So I'll play the one that I want you to hear. See if you can hear it, okay? Hold it. My fault.
Without signs.
Sorry. Start again.
Well, what's the problem with our signs?
You know very well.
Can you hear that, Mark?
Yep.
No, just answer the question. Are you moving the sign?
Well, I asked the question yesterday if we could put our signs there, and he said there's no problem with that. Oh, I just don't understand what the problem is.
You know very well the rules. Don't sit there and talk.
This is
Oh,
regulation.
fuck off, you idiot.
Margie, well,
Don't.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Fuck off, you idiot. You know exactly what you're doing.
That's
Well,
Class
the thing is, I'm
A.
playing nicely, that's all.
Oh, I'm not playing nicely. I've never moved your sign.
No, I never touched
I have
the sign.
never moved your signs. I have never got here in the middle of the night and taken your spot. The rules of the game, play fair.
I am playing fair. I don't understand why you're so mad at me. I've done nothing to you. You abused me the other morning for no reason. You made the problem, not me.
Wow.
Well, that's the first one. I'll play the
Yep.
second video.
Why did you walk up to me? What did you walk up to me for? I was not watching. No, but you walked up to me to talk to Les. Or what are you doing?
Christian Price asked me to give you a ring because he said, "Called you. Can you give me a call back so we can understand why I'm calling you?" He said, "You better be very careful." Yep. Then he called me a fool. Yep. I told him it was a cockhead, a fuckhead. I think I said everything.
Thank you. You have a lovely day.
So did you hear that?
Yep. She's a real charmer.
She's a lovely. I'd marry her
Hey, Marl.
tomorrow.
Yeah, Marla Singer sums it up quite well. What a psycho.
Yeah. And that's nothing. The day before, I had Mark Belicello walk past me while I was talking to a voter. He goes, "Oh, you're the guy that had the pizza shop." I said, "Yeah, I had the shop until someone else helped get it closed down." I didn't never mention his name. As he walked past, of course, he turned around and goes, "Don't bring me into your conversation." I said, "What are you doing, Mark?" He said, "I have nothing against you, Christian." I went, "Shh, Mark, walk away." He goes, shh, Mark, walk away. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. I had to go shh, like this before he left you walk away. He's just a lying piece of shit.
So Anna just asked, who is Margie? So Margie Ryder is the present sitting councillor for Division 1 in Team
There you
Jenny
go.
Hill.
And she's got a lot of videos on TikTok, especially the tortilla one or something, where they slap each other. They're all drunk, and they slap each other with the tortillas in the face. So it's
Is it on
watching.
Facebook or is it
I
only
believe it's
TikTok?
on Facebook, but she's even put out a video today stating
Margie, is it? Margie?
Yeah, she put out a video this morning, a statement on her phone saying that how she was upset that I put my core foods there and how she reacted. But also, when Jenny Hill was beside me this afternoon, I said, "You need to leash your workers and have them not talk." And she said, "Margie apologized." I said, "No, she didn't." I said, "I recorded everything that she did, and she did not apologize to me at all." So she's just trying to make out, like, not to do nothing, But I'm doing something about it. I'm reporting Margie. I'm going to go to the papers, go to use, because I shouldn't be spoken by that. I never call her a fuckhead.
Yeah.
So,
I find it fascinating how often Team Jenny Hill members have to apologise to the public.
exactly. So that's 2 and 3 weeks. One of their workers have called someone a fuckhead
Mm.
and a cockhead, I got called.
Class act, eh? They're a real class act.
They shouldn't even be in there.
Yeah, this one. So let's have a look at some of the charming things we've seen. So we've got Margie loses her shit. Oh, hit the. Can you guys hear that?
No.
I actually feel I'm cranky with myself because I was
Very faint.
Dams.
4 days, you had your marquee in the same spot, and then someone comes and puts their pegs right in the ground, so I can't put this marquee
This is
anywhere.
today.
Then when I get another spot, he actually drags over a sign, and I said, "You just had your sign on the other side." Did he push my buttons? Absolutely. Did I lose my shit? Absolutely. Did I call him for everything? Yeah. And then they had the audacity to call me a dwarf. Oh my God. This is people. You see people at their best, and I'm not proud of how I acted because everyone knows me. But when someone pushes your buttons and plays unfairly, doesn't crack it. Anyway, I've settled down now. Happy International I was going to say volunteers. They're the beautiful people as well. Happy International Women's Day to all you strong, wonderful women. Take on the big fellas. I might be a dwarf, but I tell you what, I'm going to stand my ground. She's a little bit cranky in that photo. So
She calls herself a dwarf anyway.
Well, what I love is the classy pronunciation. It's not dwarf, it's dwarf.
Yeah. And a
You
dwarf,
know, like,
if you look it
she's
up,
added letters to the word.
if you look up the word dwarf, it means a mythical creature or someone small in stature. Because she came up to me, standing like face to face. I said, "You please move back, dwarf." You know, I didn't call her a midget because that's insulting to a midget. I called her a
Yep.
dwarf. You know, so and I nearly lost my shit this morning, but I had to bite my tongue so many times.
Mm.
And then
She's
Jenny
a
Hill
real
said this
class
afternoon,
act.
"I'll have to check the video." What video, you stupid woman? There was no video because Margie wasn't taping anything.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's perhaps another intimidation tactic.
No, that's all they've been doing to us all week is trying to intimidate. They would park their tent there, they'd stare
Oh,
at us.
yeah, here's the classic. Sorry, I just found the classic one where
Oh,
she's
have
looking
you?
like.
Cool.
Yep. Here we go. Let's have a look. Sorry to cut you off, man, but yeah, this is
Yeah,
gold.
you're right.
No,
This is comedy gold.
oh, yeah.
hope I got your attention. So, Margie officially needs help. No, I'm going fine. But there's a thing called an election coming up. And I know I pulled out my black book last night, and the night before, and the night before. And I'm ringing, saying, "Sorry, I haven't talked to you in 5 years, but I need your help." Hope I got your attention. So, Margie officially needs help. No, I'm going fine. But there's a thing called an election coming up. And I know I pulled out my black book last night, and the night before, and the night before. And I'm ringing, saying, "Sorry, I haven't talked to you in 5 years, but I need your help."
Blah!
Hope I got your attention.
Oh, it gets funnier each time. Like,
Yeah.
what a
But,
lunatic.
you know, we've been paying wages to this woman to do something for 5 years, and nothing's been happening. This is a sad
No one has
reality.
spoken to her in 5 years because she's a nutter.
Yeah, wow. What a nut job. What a nut job.
Yeah, I believe most of her videos
Where
are
do
on
they
TikTok.
find these people?
Ah,
Oh, I know. I got to tell you the story about Liam Mooney too, Mark. So Liam Mooney was having a bit of a dig, you know, and all this sort of thing. And I said, "Liam, I said, you've got no respect for the elderly." I said, "You told a bloke that he was an F-wit the other day." He said, "I didn't do that." I said, "Yes, you did. It's all over Facebook, mate." I said, "You look like a bit of a clown." He said, "Mate, I was attacked with a leaf blower." I said, "Mate, were you?" He said, "Yeah, I was attacked with a leaf blower." I said, "Mate," I said, "the bloke was 70 years old." I said, "What were you scared of?"
yeah.
He said, "Mate, I was attacked," and then left it at that. So I thought, my God, it's just a new generation we've got. A leaf blower scares them off.
Hey,
Ah,
while your viewers are watching on that, look up the Townsville Magpie under Looney Mooney. You want a good
Ah, yeah,
laugh? Read that.
I was trying to find the leaf blower incident on Troy's page. I remember it was
Well,
on
the
there.
Looney
Oh,
Mooney
actually, you
talks
know what? I
about
think
how-
I
Sorry?
downloaded it. Give me a sec. Keep talking. Sorry,
Yeah,
mate.
the Looney Mooney post by the Magpie talks about Jenny Hill, Liam Mooney, and Tony Mooney. I wasn't aware that Tony Mooney was caught drink driving and also hit somebody.
Oh, he hit somebody. I knew he
hit
was caught
somebody.
drink driving. But I
Yes,
didn't
he
realize
hit-
he'd hit
it's
someone.
on- it's
What
on
is
the
it, like a
Magpie.
rite of initiation into the council that you have
I
to get?
think it
You have
is,
to
mate.
get pissed and run someone over.
That's why I'm drinking tonight. Alan, look out! I'm going to run him over.
I'm scared, mate. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
be careful backing out the driveway. He
Oh,
might
God.
do the reverse and stand behind your car, get himself run over.
Mate, if your viewers are watching and listening, Townsville Magpie, it's called Loony Mooney. A good read. Read it. It's funny.
All right.
give a free plug to Malcolm there.
Free plug.
But yeah, it's if the voters could only see that these what these people are really like, you'd vote them out in less than half a term. There's no question,
They're running scared. That's what's happening because they've been trying to block off all the entrances so people can't come to us. So that's what's happening at the moment. They're running scared, all of them.
Yeah.
You get him
Well,
there, Mark?
Yeah, I just got to.
So just remember, he reckons he was attacked.
There it is.
Oh, yep, there we are.
Mooney goes loony.
Mooney goes loony, and Jenny makes a joke, and there's still 3 weeks of buffoonery to go. So, and this was last week, 24th or so. It's nearly 2 weeks ago. So, losing the plot seems to be in the Mooney genes, with Liam taking after Dad with a foot-stamping, profanity-laden performance for candid camera, but his boss Jenny Hill, bless her comedic little heart, shows that she thinks rationalization involves the bacon industry regulation. And that wasn't her only merry quip of the week, making a thigh-slapping promise for her next term, which prompts the Magpie to ask a simple question of the mayor on behalf of all voters. The Magpie calls for an urgent change to Western Australians' court
You've got
calendar.
to go further down for the rest of it. So keep going down after you see Troy or something.
Rightio.
So keep going down. Keep going down, and you'll see where it starts. There we go. Under Troy.
I've uploaded the video, so here we go. Let's play the Liam Mooney getting attacked by a leaf blower.
Yeah, he was scared.
Yeah, man. Around. Can I give you one of these ones? Just a little fly for myself and Liam. Okay. Why is that? That's me. What did I do to you, sir? You know me. About the duck thing? Yeah, everything, mate. You've never responded to nothing, so get off my clock. Extremely rude person, mate. Yeah, you are. Good. Because you can't do your job. You can't do your job, mate. I'd like to talk to you about that. No, I don't want to talk to you. You're disappointed because... No, anything. Stop talking. You are disappointed because the council... Fuck with. You said exactly what you said. Just told me to fuck with on my own property. You just said to me, mate. You piece of shit. Fuck off.
Wow, what a charming human being.
Yeah, so he must have been assaulted by the air, bouncing off the driveway and hitting him in the face.
Hey, I just received a message, Mark, and it says Tony Mooney ran over a black woman and said he thought it was a wheelie bin. That's the message that I just received.
Who sent you that?
A person that knows about the accident.
Rightio. So he has the audacity to say that, people of color look like wheelie bins.
That's what it sounds like. You can't tell a human being from a wheelie bin.
Yeah, wow. We definitely want him in council, don't we?
We don't want any of the Moonies in there. Jeez.
Right.
Well, look where Tony is now, looking after all the people in the hospital. Jesus.
Yeah, my only experience with him was him trying to convince everyone that they should get flu jabs. He looked rather disgusted when I said, "Not me, mate. You can keep that for yourself."
Yeah, mate.
I told him straight out. This is before all the convid crap. I'm like, mate, you can shove that right up and where the sun don't shine.
I'm not too sure if you're aware about it either, Mark. We did a drug test the other day. There was 5 of us.
Oh, yes. I did
For
hear
the
about that.
hair follic analysis, because they cut your hair to tell you, and they test you to see how long if you've been on drugs and all that. Well, we know we come back clean because we don't do drugs and all that. But the mayor was asked to do it, and she said she'll do it after the election.
After the election?
After the election, yes. And Mark,
is she planning on shaving her head, or she needs to find someone else to make a hair follicle donation?
Well, that's probably what she'll need, because she had someone lose her blood test. So yeah, it probably has.
Yeah.
And I believe Mark Militello's denied it also. So it goes. We did it to show to people. So why can't the mayor and the deputy mayor and all them other councillors prove to us they're not on drugs?
Wow. It's a valid question. It does lead one to suspect that perhaps they are on drugs.
Well, that's it. And it was all put to all of us, and they all declined. And me and Alan and a few others all went and got it done to prove that we're clean. So when we go into council, if we get elected, we're going in clean.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope, mate. Given the leaf blower incident, you'd hope that the bloke's on drugs, because if that's sane and normal behaviour, God help us if he ever has a few beers,
And just to let you know, the person who told me about the wheelie bin was Tracy, because she said to go ahead and then say her name. So right.
Okay, cool.
So mate, it's all happening, Seriously, This is the first election I've ever done. And I'm amazed just to see the crap that's going down.
Well, I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
Keep going, mate.
I was going to say, I mean, been keeping an eye on elections for quite some time, and it's amazing how often we see this kind of behaviour, particularly from Labor Party candidates. They're just out of control. They seem to think that basic morality doesn't apply to them, or they have some very warped view on what morality is. Perhaps I don't know.
Well, maybe your fail of the week should go to Maggie Ryder, She failed miserably.
Mate, I'd like to just raise one issue if I could. With the mirror meeting on last Saturday, that's of Magnetic Island residents and ratepayers. The issue of Picnic Bay Hotel being bought by Mendy and being done up come to the floor. And Jenny said that she'd redo the mall. It's been left the rack and ruin for about 25 years. She'll do the mall up to suit the pub that Mendy's doing it. So obviously the ratepayers will pick up that tab, and that could be up to $3 or $4 million. The sad fact is, in the same meeting, we've been waiting since 28th of the 6/21 for the toilets at Picnic Bay to be fixed. So in nearly 3 years, they haven't bothered with the essential service of toilets. But as soon as one of the mates buys a Picnic Bay Hotel, she's willing to spend $3 or $4 million on refurbishing the mall to make their establishment look better. So it's a real joke, the whole system.
Bring up about, as she said,
definitely. And it's like to say to Marla, well, I don't know about we're only now just suspecting they're on drugs. More to the point, they're kind of really demonstrating that perhaps they aren't. I mean, if their actions alone during this campaign weren't convincing enough, the fact that they're refusing to prove that they're not on drugs, well, it speaks for itself, and it bodes the question.
Well, here's something out, Mark. On the planning committee, development committee over on the island for the Amaroo, guess who's on the board there? That evicted them 3 people. You have Jenny Hill, Anne-Marie Greeny, and drumroll, Mark Malachino, who signed off to have them 3 people evicted from the island.
So there's at least 3 that we know of, but there's a lot more. But I asked Jenny, how she felt about evicting all those people from Amaroo, and she said, Body Corporate have asked me to ask the council to put the application in. So, the story just gets longer and longer and more spun. So
Aren't,
couldn't
aren't
believe a
the
word.
aren't the title holders on that board
Yeah, so
the very
just for the
people that are
viewers,
being evicted? So why would they
yeah,
ask for that to happen?
yeah.
Exactly.
So just for the viewers, a body corporate means all the individual lot owners as a whole. So in that statement, Jenny said that she'd gone or sat down with all of them together, and they said, "Yeah, we want to evict ourselves," which is absolutely rubbish. So the truth is still coming somewhere.
So we actually did go over to the island and we shot a few videos. I believe I'm sure you've posted them up to your own Facebook page. Yeah.
Yes, mate.
Now let's have a look. I'm gonna load some of these videos in. I'll start with those because the Amaru one will take a bit. Where we pointed out quite a few of the issues that we've got going over there. Maybe we can start. What am I looking at here? All right, we'll start with the toilets. It looks like it's the one that's uploading the fastest at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, you do the toilet while I go to the toilet.
All right, cool.
All right, off he goes. So the toilets at Picnic Bay, they were reported on the 28th of the 6th, 21 as ruptured. And 3 months later, the council decided to put the temporary toilets in. Don't forget the whole Amaru issue was on permanent residents, So a permanent resident is anyone that's over 3 months. Well, these toilets that are temporary have been there for nearly 3 years. So there's a new definition of temporary 3 years, So, the council is quite creative,
Oh, I just had to put the flush in. I've got the opportunity to do these things, so just seemed appropriate to.
But a toilet on an island that brings in between 300 and 400 million to the local economy, I don't think is a big ask,
Yeah, not too much at all. So that video still. Sorry, these videos are going to take a little bit to load. So the toilets is one big issue, but yeah, so 3 years. That's a long time to have temporary toilets. And I mean, when we looked at them, they're rather sturdy temporary toilets too. It's almost like they were built to, be there for an extended period of time.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, like they've got to withstand the elements and all that sort of stuff. But that they as the video indicates, temporary. You would think temporary would be maybe 3 months. Not 3 years.
Yeah.
And every time that you something's brought up at this mirror meeting, Anne-Marie says, "Oh yeah, we'll just take it on notice. We'll take it on notice," and then the issue disappears. So
that's almost as good as them turning to Parliament saying, "What is a woman?" Oh, we'll take that on notice too. Like, I mean, you got to wonder: do these politicians actually have an answer for anything? Do they know anything, or do they just need to take everything on notice and say, "I don't recall," and all these other ridiculous things that we've heard over the years?
Well, while we're on that subject, Mark, I mean, I looked into the Ville breakfast, and that was $150 they wanted to charge. The lady said, "Oh no, well, we're charging Paul Jacob $90, so we'll charge you $90." So I got two invoices.
So when you say sorry to cut you off, the Ville breakfast, can you just tell us what that is?
So that's meet the candidates and meet the mayor sort of deal. So
if you wanted to meet the candidates, and was there a debate or?
I'm not sure whether there was a proper debate or they just had their spiel. I myself would like a proper debate, but there isn't one in the format at all, which I think is quite poor, because if you're a fair income candidate and you spend the time learning about the problems, you want to engage the sitting councillor and say, "Well, mate, how long has this problem been in front of you, and why is it taking this long to rectify it if it hasn't been rectified? And what is it? What is the issue? Why haven't you rectified it?" Like you don't get to do that. So, at this, I thought, maybe it was a good thing, but one ticket come in at $99, and the other one come in at $104.50. So I rang them up and said, "Hey, listen, there's been a bit of a mistake. One invoice come in at 99, the other one come in at 104.50." And the lady from the Chamber of Commerce said, "Yeah, the one for 99's right." I said, "We just discussed $90. She said, "Yeah, $90 plus GST." And I thought to myself, when the GST first come out, that was the rule one. You're not to say this is the total and then add GST on. That was rule
That's an
one.
American practice.
Yeah. So this is a Chamber of Commerce, supposed to be the light of the pinnacle of the business community, and they can't even follow rule one. So I thought this is a bit of a joke. So I didn't end up attending. So there isn't any real format except for the one at Mirror, and I just went through the issues quite clearly and coherently. Most of them I spoke about were from the island. Obviously the crime and the ridiculous rates also affect the people on the island, and they thanked me. And Anne-Marie sort of went, Mum, yeah, I'll take that on notice. Yeah, well, I know I should have done something about the toilets. Just went through all the issues, but there wasn't any resolution there. And Jenny Hill spoke for 5 minutes and then left the meeting abruptly. So that was.
Did she say anything of value in that 5 minutes?
No. Well, she spoke about supporting her mates Mendy and redoing the mall there, and that she wanted more time to do more projects, and she wanted to diversify the council to give the ratepayers more money. So I
love that. See that statement alone. She wants to diversify the council, but she's got Team Jenny Hill running in every seat. How's that diversification?
Well,
that sounds like more of the same.
Yeah, well, the other issue is she can't do the roads, rates, and rubbish now because the roads are falling apart. The infrastructure is a disaster. So why would you want to, why would you want to branch out? And don't forget, she's got the Lansdowne precinct, where she wants to be a developer like Brad Webb, but with no experience and no money except for the ratepayer money. So it's just a roller coaster of destruction.
Yeah, I am very concerned about what she can do to this town, not just in the position she's currently in, but the friendship she's made with certain people of power. Even when ousted, what more destruction do we have to still deal with because of the association she's made, or will she lose some power? Like will all those associations dry up if she's removed?
Well, I hear the term incestuous all the time. Well, she's into this and she's into that. That's probably why she can't do a job properly. I don't know, but certainly after what I experienced today, that the mayor's got a lot of pull, and if you're not on Team Jenny Hill, God help you, sort of thing, And I think the residents of Townsville have picked that up, and I really think that it's time for a change.
Well, Mark, I've got something for you. Mark Melicello, in November last year, said he wants to spend $20 million on the Ross River Dam to open it up for fishing, boating, camping, and all that sort of stuff. I have nothing against people fishing up there at all. But what I don't like is motorboats being in the water, which could put oil in the water, people swimming in the water, doing God knows whatever, pissing, shit in the water. That's our drinking water, right? But they're not thinking about the cost afterwards for the maintenance of it. Now, that $20 million could be better spent on flood mitigation, more infrastructure, more security, more stuff for the disabled people, because there's hardly anything around there for them, like toilets and that. But they want to spend that sort of money on a dam. And I just had all the back.
It's already been approved. Council
Well,
approves plan for Ross River Dam. So Townsville's fishing enthusiasts could soon be able to throw a line into the Ross River Dam after council voted to open it up for recreational purposes. And I only just recently received an email from, council telling us all about how, we need to cut down on our water usage and all that kind of stuff because it's just so expensive to clean the water, and they want to open it up to recreational use.
Yep.
Which is, like you're saying, going to pollute it even further.
And
but me, the end user who's paying a fuck ton of money in our rates to have this shit cleaned up, should be okay with that. I mean, when I first got to Townsville and I went to the dam, in all honesty, I looked at it and I thought, truth, it'd be great to chuck a line in there. But the fact that it said, no, you can't go boating, you can't go fishing, all that, I thought to myself, you know what? You shouldn't shit in a nest, and you shouldn't piss in your drinking supply either.
That's exactly right.
But they didn't consult the people. They've just gone ahead and done it. They haven't consulted anyone, but they're not worrying about the maintenance afterwards. Now, another thing too, a certain fishing company up here, I won't mention the business name, they put a lot of barramundi in that water. So what's the kickback they're getting from the council?
Well, that's
what's the kickback are they getting?
And again, we'll be paying for that too.
Exactly. We're paying for that. Now, people need to understand this is their rate money going.
Yeah.
Now, they need to understand that, they need to consult with the people, that ask the people, do we want this? Like the Lansdowne project, they had 2,600 petitions saying no. They've gone ahead and done it. They don't listen to the people. They don't care about us. And this is the reason why we're running, because we want people to start listening.
And the other issue with that Lansdowne too, I did extensive studies and spoke to the people there, and half of that Lansdowne area drains into the Ross Dam. And the problem with high impact is it's not a question of if, it's when it happens. So they've got no backup plan. I mean, Jenny Hill will be long gone. In the next 6 months, she'll probably go back down to Melbourne where she came from originally. So, the disaster happens, it won't affect her,
But this water pipeline, how long is it going to take before it's finished? It's costing.
And how much more is the budget going to blow out?
Exactly. So, this council has no idea what they're doing to the people of Townsville, and people are blind to it. They go, let's vote Jenny Hill. How about listening to what's actually happening?
Well, on that note, let's have a look at some of the videos we shot over in Magnetic Island. And, this first one here is, I'm just going to do them in order. So we've got the road to Maggie, actually, or should bring in. No, the Amaroo one's too long. It won't work. But if you want to see the Amaroo one, go over to Alan's page and check it out there. I think it was about 15 minutes long or something. It was pretty in depth. Some great interviews. Like the guys had so much to say and were so well spoken. But if you want to see those, go over to Alan's for Division 3 Facebook page and have a look. But let's start off with the roads around Magnetic Island, which is a tourist attraction. And what are the tourists saying when they come home from?
I'm Alan Sheret. I'm here over on the island today. We're just investigating this issue on the Picnic Bay Hill. I'm currently standing on the walkway here. They had a multi-million-dollar budget. Unfortunately, the Picnic Bay Road didn't have the same funding, and it's absolutely disgusting, as you can see. The contractor approximately 3 years ago has done work, and the job failed straight away. At the mirror meetings, the council's been prompted to get this contractor back and repair his work. Council have always said that they will. This simply hasn't happened. This section of road will rattle your teeth out, and because it's on the island, the council don't seem to care, and this isn't good enough for the residents on the island or the tourists that come to visit this beautiful place.
So that was one major issue, and that's not just isolated to Magnetic Island, because once we came back, we had a look at some of the other roads in your electorate around Ingham Road, which is a rather main thoroughfare, especially as the industrial and commercial areas run along Ingham Road. So it's a very high traffic area, and we've got two videos. But did you want to say something before we move on?
No, it doesn't matter where you go, whether it's Magnetic Island, Garbutt, or or wherever in this town or Alligator Creek, the roads are falling apart. The council simply won't do the right thing by the contractors. I understand if the job falls apart now, they don't get a minimum of 4 hours. They only get half an hour or maybe nothing. So, what sort of contractor wants to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars for no return? So they've all left the council. So the council have had to buy extra gear to do less work, and now people are reaping the reward for this stupidity.
Oh, and here's a shining example.
I'm Alan Sheret for Division 3 in the Townsville Council. I'm here today outside of KFC on Ingham Road in Garbett. This is a fine example of a road that's past its use-by date. It's all cracked, letting the water go in, and then that costs thousands of dollars to fix the subgrade. If the council maintained these roads properly, they would save enormous amounts of money, and that goes on to the ratepayer, saving in their rates. This isn't accountability and transparency that Jenny Hill's talking about, and it's not good.
And of course, we have more road problems here.
I'm Alan Sheret, candidate for Division 3 in the Townsville City Council. I'm in the area of a patch. This has clearly failed. It's not the council crew's fault. It's the middle and upper management that haven't assessed this job properly. Obviously, asphalt on top of mud isn't going to be a long-lasting result. This is clearly a subgrade failure, and the council need to do better. If this job was done properly and assessed properly, they wouldn't have to go back and repair the same job 6 or 7 times.
So, to be honest, I reckon we could probably drive around all Townsville and surrounding regions, and I could make about a 5-hour documentary on the quality of the roads around here.
Well, believe it or not, I had a guy that's working at the pre-poll said he's contacted the council about a dozen times about these potholes around a search and roundabout up near his home. They've never touched them. They haven't been out to even look at them.
Doesn't surprise me. I got cracked bits of the guttering out front of my place. Been like that since we got here. This is our 7th year here in Townsville. Nothing has been done. The grass is growing through it to the point you can't see the crack anymore for all the grass and shit. It's seeping out onto the road. It's like,
So you possibly need to wait another 23 years and they'll get around to it.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I've got
I'll definitely be considered a local then. Maybe it's because I'm not considered a local yet. I've only been here for 7 years. Maybe when I'm a local, they'll repair the damage.
I've got photographs of me walking around last week putting my flyers out to walkways you can't even walk down. It's overgrown. Wow. And I mean higher than what I am. You don't know what's in them grasses, snakes, syringes, glass. And kids have probably got to walk through that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That is disgusting, and this council hasn't done nothing about it. We're at election time. They should be up there fixing this up to make itself look good for the council, but they're not. We had people today walking through. They said they forgot about us. So Calco's forgotten, and that's what and Mark doesn't give a shit because all he cares about is throwing on a cappuccino for the people and a sausage sizzle. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Mark's a head shaker, yes, and do nothing approach.
It's just a standard way with most of them, isn't it?
Exactly.
What I find astounding, though, talking to some people, is like, getting that sausage seems to, it does, astoundingly, it works on the standard punter.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a really nice gesture. They gave me a sausage. You do realize you paid for that.
That's
the bit that I don't, you paid for that sausage. Like, I mean, it'd want to be a pretty bloody special sausage, when you look at your rates, we're about $4,000 a year. I think I want more than one sausage.
Yeah. Like Susie Batrovich, like you were saying a couple of weeks ago.
Yep, that's the only thing she's done for me. Is she's given me a sausage.
That's it.
That's the only other thing she's done.
Well, we got a leaf blowers amnesty, have we?
Deadly weapon. Hey, won't be long before they do a call.
People who have unregistered, I like this. People who have unregistered leaf blowers or blower-related item will be able to surrender it to police station anonymously and without penalty for registration, sale, or destruction.
That's gold.
That's it, mate. That's it.
Gold.
Yeah. Assault with a deadly blower.
Licensed leaf blower dealers can also receive surrendered blowers in most states and territories. An unwanted firearm may also be handed in. Nice work. To support the commencement of Amnesty, Crime Stoppers has launched national. Yep. Oh, you got that one before. Yeah. Why is she not fail of the week for vehicular homicide? Well, that was quite some time ago.
Out murderer.
Oh, really?
Yelled out in the line, murderer.
What did she say anything, or did she just ignore it?
Ignored it.
It's got a hide thicker than a rhinoceros, mate. It doesn't affect her.
It's amazing, like just how many places I go to, and the first thing, oh look, there's the murderer. That's the general consensus. I mean, and to be fair, the courts have said that she was innocent and there's nothing wrong and all that sort of stuff. But the general consensus is not that of the court's decision. But
people still vote for the woman. People have got to realize it's time for change. They've got to change this mayor. Because I don't care if I don't get elected. I really don't care. But as long as we've got a new mayor that does something for the city, I'll be happy with. But I want to. Do we have enough scrutineers, though? That's the big thing, because it's been suggested to me that there may be some perhaps untoward practices going on while votes are being counted. Do we have enough scrutineers, or do we need more people from the community to step up at this point? Well, tomorrow morning they're doing a ballot box. No, sorry, postal vote and ballot tomorrow count. So we've got scrutineers going there watching the count tomorrow. So they're going to start counting postal votes before tomorrow, 10:15 a.m. tomorrow. They're counting postal votes tomorrow. Right, and you've got scrutineers, or you need some? I believe the place that we go through, they're volunteering. I think they'll look in the scrutineers. So hopefully they've got someone for tomorrow, because I've got to do a barbecue tomorrow at the Harley Davidson Club, so I won't be available.
Yeah, so Michael said there's a right and a wrong way to do the roads. I understand that the ethos now is roads are built to a budget, not a standard. That's right. Yes, and it certainly shows. So Michael might be a bit old school there. So that's a new ethos, mate. We build them for a budget, not a standard. So if they're stuffed in 6 months, who cares? And, it's just ratepayers' money, which is, even if you're a renter, you're bearing the burden of that cost. So whether you're a renter or a homeowner, regardless, you are wearing that cost. Well, I like pre-poll because, when Jenny and the rest of the crew turn up, you can ask them, flat out questions, and they can't run, they can't hide, You can put them right on the spot, And I think, if people are voting, they shouldn't be intimidated by it. Just ask her, what are you doing with the ratepayers' money? Why does the water taste so bad? Why are you putting fluoride in the water when it's obviously has issues with the brain and stuff like that, and the studies are there overseas? It just seems like all these studies are done overseas. Like all the problems were there with the COVID bloody vaccines and stuff in Britain, but they still rolled them out here 6 months later when they knew there were all these problems. It just seems like stupidity based on stupidity, Oh yeah, most assuredly. So while we're doing some videos, I thought we might have a quick look at the toilets that we referred to earlier. Now this video. Oh right,
yep. I'm Alan Sheret, candidate for Division 3 in the local elections here. I'm outside the old toilets at Picnic Bay. They were shut down on the 28th of the 6th, 21 because of sewage concerns. The temporary toilets are over to my right here. As the council sign indicates, that they're only temporary, but it's been nearly 3 years since the council have tried to rectify this problem. This is too little too late, and it's certainly not the accountability and the transparency that Jenny Hill keeps talking about to the media in general.
And there you have it. 3 years of public toilets that were temporary.
But don't forget, soon as Mendy buy the Picnic Bay pub, she's got $3 or $4 million to redo them all. So, it all smells to high heaven, you know.
I'd love to know what her assets are. Love to know.
Are they supposed to declare that stuff for council?
Oh, no idea.
I think they only have to declare their interests, not their assets, as far as I know.
Right.
If you want to have assets on Amaru, that's what
Could do.
That's what she wants the land.
There's definitely a lot of investigation that needs to be done into what is happening in council. Where is the money going, and what have these people been doing?
I believe that Troy will be looking into that one. If he gets elected as mayor, he'll be looking into where that money is gone.
Yeah, well, let's hope he gets in there, because those
known, and hopefully something will happen.
Definitely. So, you know, you mentioned some underhanded deals sort of being struck with Mendy and all these sorts of things, but there was also another one we addressed here with, well, let's just let the video speak for itself, eh?
Yeah, so this is Apjohn Street here, and at the very top of Apjohn Street is the 2.5 acres of gum trees that the council paid for the trees themselves and the irrigation. The people that own the Koala Park paid for the fence, reportedly $15,000, and it's for the exclusive use of salinas to feed the koalas there. They charge $110 or $120 for that. Here is a sign here by the council stating it's protected vegetation. Please keep out, do not remove any vegetation, and this is for the sole use of a private company. This land's been taken from the only oval on the island, a Horseshoe Bay oval, and you know, if anyone else did this, they'd be screaming of corruption, but in Townsville it's not corruption, it just looks like it.
So yeah, we did smash through that. Some of the shoots I've done there are certainly not up to the standard I would like them to be, but yeah, we tried to achieve a lot in a small amount of time.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it was quite hot, and if we had to do it again, it would probably be a little bit more polished. But you know, the content's there and the evidence is there, so I'm hoping that people will see that and just pick up on that.
Definitely. So we're rolling up to that hour and a half sort of a mark. I think we should probably start winding it up. Is there any final words you guys would like to say?
All I want to say,
potential.
Yeah, all I want to say to the people watching, vote independent, because without us, we're going to have Jenny Hill, and we don't want that no more. Vote independent.
No.
I just like to say, the number one issue in Townsville is the crime. And obviously, Jenny, wanting to climb the ladder, and the rest of the councillors wanting to climb the state ladder, they won't want to hold them to account. So there's a bit of an issue there. So if you want the state government held to account, you've got to get independent people. And this helicopter that is advocated to stop the crime, it obviously hasn't stopped the crime. Mark, I gave you the list of cars that were stolen in the last 6 hours. I think the other morning, I think it's 12 cars there. I got that from a bloke at a survey pulling his hair out. He's just devastated that all these cars are being ripped off still, even with a helicopter that's costing us over $50,000 a day to keep in the air. And don't forget, these little kids, might do these crimes at night, but they're, during the day they're asleep, but they're still running this helicopter, during the day. I mean, it's like a sightseeing exercise. But, after the 1 month, it's over 350,000. So it's a ridiculous amount of money for no result.
And just the same as Jenny Hill's desire to put bloody cameras up all over the place and charge us ratepayers for the privilege of having people monitor them and observe them. It's all good and well, but what's the point of gathering this evidence of these people committing crimes if nothing is done to them and they're just released the next day?
Well, I
understand
understand
a massively pointless exercise.
I understand the helicopter. I understand the helicopter is there so they can churn them through the courts faster. there's still no accountability. You know, so it's just churning them over more, so they can get more funding to waste more money. It's like putting a band-aid on a serious cancer. There's no good that's going to come of that, and putting a band-aid on a serious issue isn't going to have any sort of decent results. They've got to have these parents held accountable for their kids, and these kids have got to be accountable for their actions. That's the way it was done in the olden days. And that's the way it should be done. It worked then. Obviously, the wheels are falling off the wagon now. So if it doesn't work, then go back to something that does.
Well, I thought the idea of having a progressive attitude was that you progressed, not regressed.
Yeah, we'll see the whole idea of no one being accountable for their actions, or it's society's fault, or it's Captain James Cook, or fault or whatever. That's just a blame game. No one gets
political
anything
bullshit.
Yeah. It's all this wokeism and all that sort of bullshit. So that hasn't worked. So they need to go back to something that does.
Definitely. And what was I going to say? I had something. The moment my mouth opened, it flew out.
Well, I've got one more thing to say, if you don't mind me saying.
Go for it, mate.
Just want to give a shout out to my place for all the help that they've been giving us and all the volunteers. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to run.
Yeah, it's much appreciated. All the game there.
So appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Wonderful people down at my place too. That have been there. It's just supporting. The community, for those who don't always have a place to vent and get their feelings out. The people at my place have always been pretty open for the general community in that regard. Great people, and I wish I had more time to get down there and spend a bit of time there myself. But I was up at 3. Well, actually, no, I was up at 2:30. Started work at 3:30 and got home at 6:30. No, got back to the base. I got back home at 7 o'clock today. So it's
long day.
Yeah, I do that a lot. So hence why the show was a bit late today. But
imagine doing that job and putting up with the crap that we have to put up with pre-poll. Just unbelievable, mate.
Well, that's why I didn't end up running, man. There was no point. There's no way in hell I could dedicate the time required to do it and then have to fend these lunatics off as well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I don't have stitches inside my gum for every time I had to bite my lip. Seriously.
Now, at least you still got your tongue as well.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty fiery, but I just got to shut my mouth. The next 2 weeks, they're baiting me, and I've just got to righto.
Well, they just try to drag you down to their level,
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a bite out of me because they know I'm a fiery person. So they're trying to get a bite out of me so they can record it and say, look at this guy. He ain't fit to be a counsellor. You know what I mean? That's why I've told everyone, I will fight for them if I'm elected. That's one thing I will do. I will fight. So vote me.
So Marla's got a question here. Is it true that they spend more money on events than on works?
Well, I'll tell you something. This is an old story. When I had my pizza shop up at Ross, a lady come in there one day. She said, I've got a receipt I want to show you. I said, what's that? She said, Jenny Hill. I said, what is she spending money on this time? When they were doing the B8, she had all the dignitaries up here, $50,000 in catering. That's where the money's going.
Buying off all their friends and...
Yeah, absolutely.
It was all the catering for them, all the dignitaries and all that, all the MPs and all that. That's where the 50 grand went on catering for them at the B8s. Man. I can't afford that. Well,
no, God, no. You barely afford tickets these days, thanks to the Labor government. Actually, that's what I was going to say. Isn't it interesting that, fundamentally, we know Jenny Hill and her cronies are pretty much Labor. Our state government is Labor. Our federal government is Labor. They've got all the power in the world, yet crime and all the basic amenities, healthcare, plummeting.
Mm-hmm.
What's their excuse? It's not like there's anybody cock blocking them in some way, shape, or
form.
They keep trying to say that the Liberal Party are blocking them this way and that way and all the rest. But I fail to see how that's possible when you've got a standing position in every level of government and you've got the balance of power.
They should have streamlined it all, but I understand that they're blaming the crime for LNP about 20 years ago. So, what was that one?
At the scrutiny, you need to surrender your leaf blower at the door.
Weapons and leaf blowers at the door. I like that.
Hey, this is one of Jenny Hill's little spiels today. She was talking to a guy today, and she was telling him how good she's been doing, and she's got pink here, and she had all that. And I turned around and said, "Yeah, the next mate will do the same thing." You know? Trying to spruik how good she was, and I said, "Yeah, the next mayo that we get will do the same things that she's saying we're going to do." So no difference.
I think what Michael's pointed out here isn't just, what he said is, yes, I do understand how corners are cut when building roads. Sometimes we were forced to make the roads substandard, and he hated it. But you know what? That's a symptom of society. I mean, I can't think how many jobs I've had, because I bounce around lots of jobs. I get bored quickly, and I get intolerant of substandard situations. But I can't think of an industry I've worked in, whether it was superannuation, whether it was in a factory, whether, whatever job I've had, it's always a case of, well, that's just the way it is. Let's do substandard. That's just how it is.
Substandard is not good enough.
Everything's
look at all the deaths on our roads. Look at all the deaths on our roads because of shitty roads.
The amount of times this week alone, I've nearly had an accident where I thought I was going to come off the fucking road because the standard of the roads was that shit. And, I'm in a truck and it's just going boom, bouncing around like nothing else. It was
substandard's not good enough, mate. It should be top quality stuff.
Well, see, Mark, if you're gonna cut corners and stuff, the first thing you've got to do is get rid of the supervisors and the inspectors, and that's what the council did. So the people that are untrained are fixing these roads to the minimum standard. No one's checking it, so they're just putting asphalt on top of mud, and then it's failing, like in the video there. So the council, by streamlining,
and it's more costly in the long run.
Absolutely, if you've got to fix it 8 times, it's a lot more costly than fixing it once.
Council don't care because the ratepayers pay for it. That's why they don't mind fixing it. Not coming out of their pockets.
So
it's madness, I mean, I remember sitting there as a kid watching things like, Star Trek, and thinking of a beautiful future. And you look at, say, Back to the Future, particularly Back to the Future 2, where instead of they go into the past, they go to the future. And we've gone long past 2015 now, like I didn't get my fucking hoverboard. There's no flying cars. There's no giant hologram sharks coming out to advertise for a movie. No, we've got substandard roads. Nothing bloody works. The cost of living's gone through the roof. The healthcare's falling apart. Crime's going all over the place. It's actually a little bit more like RoboCop than it is Back to the Future 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you have the cars zipping past you with people in balaclavas and stuff, it's more like Mad Max 2,
Mate, this is Australia or America. This is getting beyond a joke, this place. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. It is.
But, the answers are there. These people are making money out of this misery. So people have got to wake up,
Definitely. So any questions from the public before we start winding this up? Because unless you guys have got something quickly you want to add in.
Yeah, no, I would want a good hard question to wind the evening up.
Yeah, give him a hard question. I want to
drink. Don't get too close to Jenny Hill standards.
He's already home, so
that's Curry.
Or Tony, or was it Tony, or which Mooney is it? The Looney Mooney.
No, this is my Dutch courage.
Drink driving Mooney.
I don't like talking in public, so.
Yeah, I know. I have to, point out to the public, it has taken quite some effort to get Kristian here on the show today, and I want to thank you dearly for coming on and, and getting past that personal phobia you had there. It's very brave of you to step up to the plate like that. I mean, so just to step up to the plate and become a counsellor.
What you can't see, Mark, is I've got a revolver sticking to his guts here, and I said, you better talk tonight. I'm going to pull the trigger. That's not the case at all, but yeah. No, I think he's doing well. National sovereignty. Well, are you talking about the WHO? Because I certainly wouldn't sign up to that treaty and have foreign power over this country, if that's the question.
Perhaps it's a play on words. NSA, National Sovereignty Anyone. NSA. I don't know if that was done intentionally or if I've just spotted something there. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Susan says, "Great show. Thank you very much for your support and your
Thank you,
love."
Susan.
Anna wanted a flying saucer like in the Jetsons. You know what? I
Who
love
did
the
it?
Jetsons.
Who did it?
Yeah. I wanted to work at Sprockets and just turn up and push the button to get everything going and then kick back like George Jetson. Like he did a great job.
That's it. George Jetson what was his dog name?
That was a while ago.
His boy,
His boy Alroy, yeah. I can't think of the dog's name. That's something to think about tonight, eh?
Cosmet or Comet? Something like that.
Someone will know.
Was it Woodrow, was it? Or something?
No.
I don't know.
It had a cosmic construct, Comet or something like that. Oh.
Someone should know on your show. Come on, people.
Now that just shows you how long it's been.
Yeah.
Was that the dog with a bubble around its head?
Yeah, that's the one.
No, didn't he have like a collar that shot little antennas out or something?
Yeah, and then it made a bubble over his head if he went outside or something.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
That was quite a few years ago.
I just wanted to wish you both all the best. We need good people in council, all levels of government, really. Thank you very much, Anna. I'm sure the boys appreciate it too.
Thank you.
Back in the old days, 1990s, councillors, consultants held subdivision contracts to tack over roads. Sean, the assumption of authority we have at the moment. Yes, again, we allow it to happen. I was discussing the same concept with someone just today, and he was pointing out that, the Romans built amazing roads and they still, stand next to, the ones that are falling apart that were built last week sort of thing, He's like, what does that say about our society? I said, the fact that A, it's corrupt, and B, that we're also complacent that we allow it to happen. And the guy just went fucking dead silent because I put it back on him as we all allow this.
Well, back in the Roman days, they didn't use substandard for roads. They did it right.
One of the things I'd like to do.
Astro, that's it. Was it Astro? I thought Astro. I'm like, maybe I'm thinking Astro Boy. I've been watching too much Astro Boy lately. Yep, Astro the dog. All right, it was Astro. There you go. It's unanimous.
One final
that's it.
Thought, Mark, is given this whole experience, you don't really get to see the councillor. You don't really get to see any debates or anything like that. I'd like to see probably quarterly where a councillor is accountable to his electorate and basically go and say, hey, listen, what are the issues there? What's affecting this area? And how can I help, Like they are public servants. They're there for the people. It just seems that their egos are out of control and they're worried about their egos and not the people anymore. So I would like more community engagement, not just
exactly
bullshit barbecues, mate. What is the issue here, mate?
Let's fix it.
Is there flooding here? How can we fix it? Let's not get it designed in South Australia like the Horseshoe Bay disaster. Let's just get some local people. And the final thing, I guess, is we spent all our money on advertising with local businesses. I understand Team Jenny Hill spent over $15,000 with a company in Brisbane. So if that's her looking after local small business again, it's a joke.
And Mark Milicello signed off on the use and stuff from down south too. He signed off on it.
So it's just a loss for the community all the time with these jokers not spending their money here. The council should supercharge the town with their buying power and their workforce, not cripple it.
So if I've got any last thoughts, I'm asking your viewers to look up mine and Alan's Facebook accounts, like Division 3 and Division 4, and see what we stand for and share it with people, because the more the word gets out, they'll see what we're like, and they know that we're full dead set wanting to get this job done properly.
Definitely. And share this video.
And share the video. Yes,
Yeah.
share this video to everyone.
Yeah.
Because like having good councils in that council will get things done.
Town hall meetings, actually.
Yeah, I'm for that.
I'm
Yeah.
for that.
And
Monthly
Troy
meetings
wanted
in
to bring that
suburbs.
to the thing too, and actually start. We need that community engagement, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
people
not
need
just
to
town
start
hall.
taking ownership.
Not just town hall, have go out to the public, out to their suburbs and have meetings out there with the people. Each candidate should go into their own areas and ask the people what needs to be fixed, what needs to be done, so we can get it done.
Definitely. Yeah, but people need to start to feel that their representatives are representing them.
Exactly.
You know, because
Well, I had people say today they've forgotten about Upper Ross. They've forgotten. You know, Mark Monticello, who? They've never seen the guy. So seeing me there with my flyer and they say, oh, that's you. So they actually can put a face to the flyer, not just a flyer with a face.
Yeah.
You know? So that was, and I'm not, I can't be saying 100% I'm going to win this, but I hope I will. But I'm getting a lot of good input, and people are taking my flyers, which I'm happy
awesome,
about
man.
because, like, you know, I put myself out there.
No,
The
it's great
feedback
work,
is very positive, whether it be towards us or towards Troy. So, you know, I'm pretty positive at this stage, and you know, even if the result isn't as good as what we want, we're certainly giving her a good shake up, you know.
And just put them on notice for the next 4 years. If they haven't done their job, we'll be back.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what division you're in, we'll come for your job.
For sure. And hopefully we can get a few more candidates around next time and
Hopefully.
maybe get in a little bit earlier. We can, you know, don't have to rush through the preparation so much. It's one of the things I do try to reach out to the general community and sort of get into the heads of, like, we as Australians are certainly not as committed to the political side of things and the campaigning, certainly not to the extent of America. And I don't want to spend an entire fucking year working on a campaign. Like, I think America have taken it to a whole new fucking level where they spend more time campaigning than they actually do doing the job. But, you know, at the same time, we got the complete polar opposite here in Australia. It's like, oh yeah, oh shit, there's 2 weeks to go, I better do something. You know, and you know, we've still got state elections coming up too, so I really want to, you know, sort of get to the general community that we need people to start standing up for state as well to stand against these people.
That's right.
You know?
Well, our state members aren't doing their job.
I don't know how they ever have. I'm astounded they got in the last time.
So
Like, how did they get in?
Well, the COVID last thing. Everyone was
Yeah.
too scared to go and vote. The last COVID. There's no more COVID now, so that's what Jenny Hill's worried about because people are out and voting.
Yeah, that's it. They can't hide behind the mail order election vote. Although
Well,
I'm sure they'll
I
use
must
it.
be a threat to her because why would she come down to our tent and stand beside me all the last couple of hours of the day? What am I a threat?
Yep.
Because I reckon they are scared. They're running scared now.
Oh, it's good to hear, and hopefully enough people are really, you know, getting behind people. And we seen with the whole yes no camp, you know, they thought they had that in the bag, but you know, a lot of people were quietly, nah, we'll go the other way. Didn't matter how much money they threw at it, didn't how much they pushed it. You know, the general populace seemed to have had enough. I guess time will tell. We'll find out next week, I hope.
Yep.
That things have swung a little bit around. The only thing I'm, a little bit downhearted about is there wasn't enough people to step up this time around, and you know, hopefully you guys will get in there and inspire people for an amazing, you know, round of independence next year, next election. But in the meantime, we've still got state, and if you guys don't make it through into council, would you consider going for state?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. If the opportunity's there and people push us in that right direction, then yeah.
Well, you know, you've got my support, and you know, I think that's is it about September or whatnot? So we've got some time that, you know, October. Oh, it's even better. Gives an extra month. So gives us some time to put some good videos together, maybe a little cartooning work. We'll see what we can muster up, you know, and put a good campaign together. So, but you know, let's hope that doesn't have to come through because you guys are going to shit it through this time.
Yeah, that's that. Sounds great.
Thank you, mate.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on and saving me in my hour of need. And yeah, best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
And thanks to the viewers. Thank
No
you.
worries. Not a problem. All right. Just chill out in the back room there for a second. I'll just wind this up. So thank you all very much for watching. Definitely want to reiterate the concepts of sharing this video. Please click the like button. You know, the more people start to support the Freedom Network, the more freedom we can actually get happening in this community. And if you've got a story you want to bring to us, let me know. If you're, a local business that needs a bit of help, reach out to us. That's why I created this. It's all about helping the little people. I don't need to help the sports stars. I don't need to help the big businesses and all these sort of enterprises that are not doing the right thing by the people. We want to help small people, small communities, and get everything going. A community environment. That's what we're all about. Now, if you do enjoy this channel and you want to help us out, please consider becoming a Patreon. We have some amazing Patreons that have already come on board and are privileged enough to see the content that is exclusively available to Patreons. And I do want to give a big shout out to Jeannie, Lee, Jennifer, Gaza, Mark, Carla, Karina, and Ruben for being Patreons, and of course Fiona and Shane for making some private donations. That's really, really helpful. If you want to reach out to us, NQ Freedom Network at protonmail.com. Thank you all heaps. I just cannot emphasize how much I enjoy doing this and reaching out to the community. It is very important, I think, to build a new media and a long form interview structure. You just don't get enough out of 3 or 4 lines of a newspaper article. And having worked in the mainstream media, 45 seconds, how much could you possibly learn in that time? So I hope you all appreciate it. And of course, please do help out becoming a Patreon and chipping in a couple of bucks, because
Hey, man, I got 5 kids to feed. Take them to the dentist.
So I'd like to take the kids to the dentist one day, although I don't think they need it because we don't really do sugar and lollies too much here. But anyway, all that aside, have a good one, and I'll see you guys Sunday for Fail of the Week.